Welcome to Barely Edible. I'm your chef, Rebecca Meyer. And today we have Sean and Donna from Bawden Street Brewing with me. Hi, Sean and Donna.
Hi, Rebecca.
I hope you guys are hungry.
Oh, famished.
Awesome, because today we're gonna make some New England style beer battered fish and chips. All right, Sean, so the first thing we wanna do when we are making our fish and chips, we wanna get our oil in the pot and we're gonna get the burner on. I like to go medium high and we're gonna fill this just about halfway. You want to let this heat up to about 350 degrees, and I have my candy thermometer here so I can keep an eye on the temperature. While that's heating up, we have Donna back here, and she's going to chop our potatoes for us, and we're going to soak them in water for about 30 minutes, and what that's going to do is that's going to remove a lot of the starches. We're going to get a really crispy fry. So when Donna is done with that, we will take the fries, and we will dry them off, and then we'll put them in for about 3 to 5 minutes. Once they're in for 3 to 5 minutes, we don't really want to get them crispy. We're just gonna do a quick flash fry on them. So it's going to create a barrier, so that way when we do our second fry at about 350 degrees, it's gonna get the outside really, really nice and crispy. And that's the key to making good homemade fries that aren't soggy. So we're gonna take our fries that have been soaking and we're gonna dry them off. Thank you, Donna. If you don't mind handing me some paper towels over there. And if you don't mind checking the temperature on our oil to see where we're at.
About 130.
130, okay, so we have a little bit of time. So what we can actually do is we can start putting oil into our other pan to make our fried fish. About 1/2 inch is really all we need. All right, so we can get our burner on. We're gonna go about medium high again, and then we can start putting together our batter. So for our batter, we are using your Mark IV IPA. Can you talk a little bit about that and tell me what the profile is?
Sure. So IPAs are bog standard issue for most craft brewers these days. As far as beers go, the grain bill is relatively unexceptional. It's mostly North American grown 2-row pale with a touch of German roasted melanoidin. What really makes it stand out is the hop profile that I developed over the course of about 4 years of rigorous research and development, which is code for drinking a lot of beer and finding what I like. So we use a lot of Centennial, we use a lot of Chinook, we use Citra, we use Columbus, Tomahawk, Zeus varietals. So you get a nice bitter base and then you get some floral top notes with just a hint of grassiness. We use a really boring California ale yeast from White Labs, which doesn't produce any phenols and esters and just is intended to produce alcohol without any flavor. So that way the hop profile really stands out without being grainy or malty or anything like that. It's all about the hops. Good color, nice head retention. If we were to start drinking this, which I think you should, you would see these things called rings that develop over the course of time too. So that's a bit about the beer. I made this beer under duress, but it actually came out very well. It's one of our best sellers at the brewery.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wonderful. We are using russet potatoes to make our French fries today, and you can cut them really however you want. If they're not perfect, that's okay, as long as they're delicious. I always say that when you're cutting something in the kitchen, if it's not perfect, and you're serving it to other people, if you call it rustic, people think it's awesome. So we are using russet for that. Our oil is a little bit warmer than we want it to be right now. So we originally said 350, we're at about 380. So I've gone ahead and I turned off the burner. You can either turn off the burner, take it off the heat completely. Just be really careful when you're doing that. You definitely don't want to burn yourself. But it's okay, because we're gonna add in all the French fries now, and it's gonna bring the temperature down probably a good 20 degrees, and it's not really gonna compromise our end result. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add our fries in. Because I'm using a smaller pot, I probably won't add them all at once, and it is gonna sizzle. The potatoes do have a lot of moisture on them, so just be very careful when you're doing this. All right, so about 3 to 5 minutes, so we're gonna check the clock, and we're gonna let them sit for a minute. And this is exactly why we only fill the oil about halfway, because you can see how much it's come up in the pan. So it's been about 3 minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take our potatoes out of here now. So if you wanna grab that bowl right behind here, we already have it lined with a paper towel to drain off some of that excess oil. So again, you just wanna be really careful when you're doing this. And you can see they're getting a little bit of color, but they're not perfectly brown, which is exactly what we want. So we'll take these out, let these drain, and then we'll put in our second batch. And I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to turn our burner back on because our temperature has reduced quite a bit. and that's totally normal. So as you can see, it's still hot enough to do its job. Now we're gonna get started on our beer batter. So I have all of our ingredients set up here. So if you want to bring this right over to you, and if you can actually measure out about 12 ounces of the Mark IV.
For me to drink, or?
Either one.
Oh,
There'll
okay.
be plenty
Okay.
left.
All right, let's.
So we're using the Mark IV IPA, and you can really use, ideally, any beer that you want for this. I like the Mark IV. I really love the flavor of it. So if you want to go ahead, right below you, you can grab a bowl out of there. You're going to turn the little thing. Perfect. So we're going to actually start. We're going to add the beer, and then we're going to add a little bit of the flour at a time. Now we have 2 separate bowls of flour over there. One of them is going to be a half a cup of flour for dredging. The other is 2 cups of flour that we're going to put directly into the beer. We want to do small amounts at a time, and we're going to whisk it. That way it doesn't get clumpy.
Got it. Roger that. Do you want to do this?
No, you can do it.
Okay.
This is your job today.
Never cooked in a mask before. That smells amazing.
Is it the flour or the beer?
Let's go with the beer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Man, who made this?
I have no
It's
idea, but
almost
he did a
like-
great job.
He did a good job.
While we're working on our batter over here that Sean is vigorously whisking, we're going to check in with Donna behind me. Hi, Donna. How are you doing over there?
How are you, Rebecca?
Good.
I'm pretty excited to see you make beer battered fish and chips. I always wanted to know a recipe for it, so pretty excited.
This is an easy one, too. I think everyone at home can definitely make this. So I'm glad you're here with us today.
Sweet,
Thank you for
thanks.
being here.
Thank you.
Of course. All right, so back to Sean. You can go ahead and you can add in our spice mix there. We have salt, pepper, a little bit of parsley, mustard powder, and a little bit of paprika. So if you just want to add that in, and I will take your dirty dishes from you. Now, let's let that sit for just a few minutes, and the reason why we're gonna let it sit is we wanna let the air bubbles from the beer kind of rest. While that's resting, we're gonna check on our oil temperature. So on your right, you have the thermometer over there. I will take that from you. Thank you. So we want our oil to be about 375. That way we can allow for it to reduce a little bit when we put our cold batter in here, and hopefully it'll be about 350 when we start cooking the fish. We are using cod today for our beer battered fish. So I have some here already sliced up. We're gonna use about 6 ounces. So our first step is we're gonna take off anything that you don't want dirty, and we're going to dredge it in just some flour here. And this is actually just gonna help to soak up some of the moisture in the fish before we put it into our batter. So we're gonna pop this right in there, and then we're gonna go for the next one. I'll do the dirty job for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome, anytime. I'm happy to do it. All right, so that's gonna go in. So now we have our fish in our batter. So this is a really thick batter, which is exactly what we want. It is a little bit of a messy job, but the good news is we can wash our hands. So I am going to pull my fish out of here, and I'm gonna just make sure the whole thing is coated, and I'm gonna let any excess drip off. So wipe it off the side of the bowl, and then we're gonna go right into our oil. Same thing with the next piece. So we're gonna let our fish cook for about 3 minutes per side. And I'm gonna wash my hands. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our fries that we've already fried once, and we're actually gonna put them back into our hot oil. So this will be our second fry on our fries, which is gonna get it really, really nice and crispy. So those are gonna go right in there. And now I'm gonna put all of them in at once. Okay. I'm gonna grab our tongs. You wanna go ahead and flip our fish for us?
I can do it. Get up underneath it. Oh, yeah.
Good thing we don't have gas burners here, right?
So what's your favorite beer?
My favorite all-time beer?
Yeah, let's go there. That's fine.
Oh, my favorite all-time beer. If I had to choose an all-time favorite beer, it would be Harpoon Brewery Wanamango.
Interesting choice. I'm not familiar with that one.
Well, it's delicious. The first time I ever had it was when my sister came to visit me in Boston, and we went to Fenway, and we both thought the name was really funny, so we decided to try it. and it's amazing.
Okay. What kind of beer is it? Is it like a IPA? Is it like a?
I don't know. It's mango flavored. I can tell you that much.
Oh, it's probably
really
like
good.
a fruit-based sour kind of thing.
Yeah, it was delicious.
Interesting,
So
interesting.
I'm not familiar with really a lot of Alaskan breweries since I've been here for only 10 months. And growing up on the East Coast, I am well versed in East Coast beers.
Did you ever have a chance to have any of the Alchemist beers? Because I was in Albany for like 8 years getting a PhD, so I got like, don't ask. After that, the Army, don't worry about it. But yeah, like, so there's a whole bunch of beers on the East Coast, like Omegon, for example, Three Philosophers, the Creek, the Alchemist, obviously. Dogfish Head was an East Coast beer, that East Coast type of beer. Then we moved to Philadelphia, and man, they just have a great small brewer culture there. That's like literal neighborhood breweries that they make the stuff that you want to drink.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I had in mind when I started Bond Street Brewing Company. I don't want to have like a regional beer or a state beer. I just want to have the beer that you drink on the street, right? So that's where you go to have your fresh made beer.
And I think you've done a great job with it.
So far, so good.
Considering I'm there about 3 days a week.
Thanks,
so.
COVID. Thanks, COVID.
All right, so it's time for us to pull out our fries. So I actually have the sheet pan over there lined with paper towels, and we're actually going to use the same sheet pan to pull out our fish and our fries. So everything's going to drain together on one. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so it's time to take out our fries. As we can see, they're really beautiful, golden brown. It's exactly what we want, and they're really nice and crispy. All right, so now we are going to take our fries, and I have a little bit of Parmesan cheese and some salt in here, and we're just gonna coat them. We wanna coat them while they're still hot and oily. Okay, so now we can go ahead and we can actually take the temperature of our fish. That's the best way to find out if we know if it's done. So we have our thermometer here. Do you know what temperature you're looking for when you cook fish?
1 something?
That's absolutely correct. It is 1 something. So I ideally like to go for about 140 when I'm cooking fish.
That's what I was gonna say, 140.
All right, so we are about 139, which is perfect. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take these out. We're gonna drain it again on that paper towel. And if you just wanna hit it, perfect, with a little bit of salt. Our last piece of fish is cooking right now, so we can start on our tartar sauce. Have you ever made homemade tartar sauce before?
Nope.
So it's really, really simple. I only use tartar sauce maybe once every few months, so it's much easier and less expensive if I make it myself. And 9 out of 10 times, I have most of the ingredients at home. So we have some mayonnaise right here. We're gonna go ahead and we can put this right in the bowl. And in our other bowl, I have some chopped dill pickles, chopped capers, a little bit of parsley. Oh, thank you, sous chef. Lemon juice and a pinch of sugar. And this is all you need to make homemade tartar sauce. And that's literally it. Tartar sauce is done. It's that simple. All right, Donna, you ready to taste test now?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. So we've actually added a little bit of salt and Parmesan cheese to our fries. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start plating up our fish. So I hope you're hungry because we have a lot to feed you.
Oh, you're having some too, no?
Of course I am. That is one great meal right there. All right, and I will bring you tartar sauce right now.
Awesome.
There you are. I hope you enjoy that.
Thanks. Sean, where's my beer?
Here.
I can't eat fish and chips without beer.
This is our Imperial Stout.
Oh, that looks delicious, Rebecca.
Thank you. Thank you. Is it good?
It's good. She's not talking, you know.
No,
It's
she's
good.
not talking.
Implied cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
delicious.
that's robust, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's delicious though.
I'm so excited to try this recipe with some of my halibut I have at home. Thanks, Rebecca.
Welcome, anytime.
Nice and crispy. Awesome.
Thank you so much, Sean and Donna, for joining me here today, and I'm glad you enjoyed this delicious meal. Donna, what are the hours of the brewery so people can come visit?
We're open Monday through Friday, 4 to 8 p.m., Saturday, 12 to 8 p.m., and Sunday, 12 to 6 p.m.
That's perfect. I'm sure I'll see you tonight as usual.
Awesome.
Thanks for watching this episode, and stay tuned for more. So I'm not an IPA drinker.
It's pretty
It's
good.
so
Okay.
drinkable.
Yeah. I mean, that was the moral of the story. Like, if you grab a lot of the IPAs off the shelf, even something like Dogfish Head 60 Minute or 90 Minute, it just socks you in the face with bitter, bitter, bitter.
I hate it.
Yeah, no, it's got to be balanced, and I think
It's really good.
that's sort of the aim of Bawden Street Brewery, is produce beers that are balanced, that
Yeah.
will have certain accents on things.